Hello, hello, everybody. Happy 2022. We are starting off this next week with our next community spotlight with Technique. How you doing?
What's up?
Back.
What's good, everybody? I'm doing great. Ash, it's always a pleasure to sit down with you and chat it up. And hello out there, Tiltify communities. Good to meet you if you don't know me, and good to see you if you do know me.
Yes, Technique has done some pretty incredible things these last couple months. I'm so proud of him. We're going to get into the amazing journey he's been on for the last couple years in content creation and talk about what he has in store and a little bit about fundraising. So let's start off with intros. I am Ashley. I'm Tiltify's community manager. I get to do all the fun community events and live streams and fun interviews like this.
Mhm.
So let's hear a little bit about Technique and his content creation journey. And please share your pronouns with us too.
Sure. Technique, or AKA Frank, he, him. The journey started about 8 years ago. I've been partnered for 7.5 years on Twitch, and I also am a Twitch ambassador and some other things. I'm a prime host for Twitch as well. I've been doing this for a very long time, and my message was, I wanted to have a place where people that were like me. I used to have really bad social anxiety because I was a sports boy. I didn't have to talk to a lot of people. I just played sports really well. And when it came down to doing work, I did work, but I wasn't really socially out there. I was an introverted person. I like playing video games or I played sports. I was like, my social stuff is in sports. Bring it back. After college, knew I wasn't going to go to the NFL or nothing like that. I decided to just pursue my 2 degrees, which was graphic design and Japanese. And I was planning to go to Japan to teach English, and I decided not to. And found Twitch a bit later, but it was Justin TV, and it had a bunch of ads all over the place. And I was like, oh, this place is probably a scam place. Then the news came out they were turning to Twitch, and I was like, what's Twitch? And I saw that people were like streaming in front of people, so I decided to do it. And I didn't have any goal in mind of being a partner, making money. I grew up an only child, still an only child, obviously. And I never had brothers or sisters, anybody to play games with. So I was like, what a great opportunity to have people watch me play, excuse me, video games. And I was horrible at speaking. I was begging people to to get into giveaways. I was thanking people for just being there like every 5 seconds. It was horrible. But I learned real quick where my place was and who I was. You kind of discover yourself through streaming. You get put through a lot of trials and tribulations. um, I'm a person of color, obviously. I'm black and Japanese. And this place on Twitch, we make up about 3.9% of Twitch. That's viewers and streamers. You think about those numbers, that's out of 100. So it's a little harder for us to crawl, scrape, grind, and bleed our way to the top. And I'm not at the top, and I'll probably never will consider myself top, but I did make a place for myself here on Twitch, just as Ashley has. And she would be attested to it that it takes hard work because we start off with strikes against us. But good news is that it makes a real man and woman, and whatever your preference is or what do you prefer, to push that ideal to the side and overcome that barrier and walk forth. And here I am today, continuing that path. 8 years later, full time. I left my job. I'm happy. My mental health is in the highest state it's ever been, and I get to make other people happy and smile. So here I am.
Oh, you're doing such an amazing job. And I did not know
Um,
you started, with Justin TV. That's when you knew about it.
yeah.
You're a
Yeah,
veteran.
I didn't start streaming then, but I was watching then, but I started streaming like
Even
almost
more.
right when they turned. Yeah. It was like
Yeah.
2 years later because Justin TV was like 10 years ago. So it was like 2 to a year and a half later, I started diving into streaming. And like I said, had no goals, just wanted to have fun and make friends because I was lonely and I had social anxiety.
And what games were you playing when you first
Oh
started?
my goodness. MMOs. Everyone knew me for MMOs. I played World of Warcraft like everybody else back then. And then I got out of that because I got really bored with it. And I started venturing out and became like the MMO, and if you guys don't know what MMO is a massive multiplayer online game. I became like the aficionado, like the guy that you go to figure out if a game was worth it or not. And I used to do these revisits called like, technique revisits or, tech revisits or something like that. And people would come in and be like, how's this MMO? And we would sit down and I play it and I explain to them, break it down into details. And that's where I kind of got partnered Um, Funny story is Summit, if you guys know Summit, used to frequent my streams when I had like 30 people in my stream. I didn't even know who he was, and people were like, "Oh my God, Summit's here!" And I was just like, "Who is that?" And they were like, "You don't know?" And he came out. He's like, "Hey, I have a hidden obsession with MMOs. I watch you all the time, and you're just a chill dude, and a place where I don't get badgered." And I was like, "Now you're getting badgered." Like sorry about that. We became really good friends, and I think he really helped a lot. Him and Co Carnage and Towley, those big titans, helped a lot with me because they treated me like a normal person. I didn't treat them like they were sitting on a pedestal, and they didn't treat me like I was beneath one. So there you go.
Yeah. I feel like you are still doing that, honestly, technique.
Very humble.
No,
I
with
don't know how
me
to take compliments at all.
yeah,
I'm
when you
working on that though.
MMOs.
Mm.
Yeah, you are still the guy to go to, like, "Hey, should I be playing this MMO? Is it
Yeah.
good?" 'Cause I've been learning a lot from you with just New World alone,
Oh
so
yeah, yeah,
watching your streams made me want to start playing New World, and
yeah.
that's my first MMO, by the way.
Nice.
So, yeah, I've learned a lot from you, so you're still
Thank
doing it,
you.
dude.
Oh,
You're
thanks.
still doing it,
Lost
and
Ark is next. That's what we're moving to. So
yes, yeah, we gotta talk about that one later
yeah,
for
hit me up
yeah,
anytime.
yeah, yeah. But that's awesome. I feel
Thank
like
you.
I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. So thank
Yeah,
you for sharing a part of your story
no
and
problem.
to see what you do in the future. But now you are full time. How has that experience been being a full time content creator?
It's it's a reality check. People that start now streaming think that the work and grind is to get to not get affiliate, and then the work and grind is to get a partner. But what they don't understand is that time period between starter and partner is the fun. Because once you get partner, the real stuff start hitting you. The real world start hitting you. Like, oh, now I am able to make money doing this. I mean, you could do this as affiliate, but you you hit partner and you're happy for that day or week, right? And then you expect things to fall in your lap, and that doesn't happen. You realize like, oh, it's just a title, but I got to work harder now because there's umpteen amount of partners that have made it and that are keep making it. How do I fit in that group? So it's like going from high school to college. In high school, you might be the superstar, all American, great person everybody knows. Go to college and find out that you're at a university with thousands of other people, sometimes hundreds of thousands of other people, and you're just a normie, so you're in a crowd. So yeah, it's the hard work begins. Anyway, so when it comes to going from full time to streaming, it was a great transition because I prepped, right? My goal was I had to make a certain amount of money that I can hold myself for 2 years without paying bills, and
Yeah.
I put that in the savings. I didn't touch it. Then when I made that, I was like, I gotta make 50% more for if I got something happened to me when I had to go to the hospital, right? So I had to prepare for that. Once I did that, I wanted to wait until the moment was right to leave my job, but they forced me by trying to mess with me a little bit. And I was like, I had enough because it was during COVID and stuff. I was like, I had enough. But I didn't burn any bridges. I worked for them for extra 3 weeks, and I made sure everything was done for them and had instructions and stuff. And when I left, I was teasing the idea with a brand change, and also teasing the idea that I was going to go full time. And I let people know, and I did a countdown up to it, and the support was real. Even Twitch supported me. My sponsors supported me. Everybody wanted to make sure that I was successful, and I couldn't let them down. And here I am today. But I will tell you, I'm a rare case. It's very rare that you're able to do this. Don't feel bad if you have to work a 9 to 5 and come home and stream for 3 hours and then go back and do it again. I did that for 8 years. I did that. And after 8 years or 7.5 years, on the eighth year, I decided to kick it into overdrive. And here we are. But am I prepared if I lose this gig? 100%. So if you can answer those questions, then do it. But other than that, that's where I am. But I'm happy. Mental health is way more important than anything else. You can make all the money in the world and be the most miserable person, and you're not going to find a happy spot where you are. Sometimes it takes that humbling experience and that hard work to make it worth it. But if you could wake up every morning and say, you know what, Ash, I'm happy. I'm do this every single day, then you made it, right? Don't let nobody tell you different.
Yeah, and everyone's story is different. Like
Mhm.
you hear Tech's story right now, like, hey, he saved up money, he made sure that him and his family were okay.
Yeah.
Um, in case, full-time, income wasn't
Yeah.
enough. He made sure his family is still covered. So
Yeah.
I think that's so smart, and
Thank you.
I think a lot of people don't do that. I think people should plan out more often.
If they
People
can, right?
if they can,
Some people
correct.
lose their job and they have nowhere else to go. And if that's the
Mhm.
case, then do know that like this doesn't have to be the end all be all, but like give yourself some cushion and like don't give up hope and talk to your community. Man, talking to your community. If Ash came to me today and she said, Frank, I I don't know what I'm gonna do, she knows I got her back, right? Like so, but if you don't talk and you don't ask, then you'll never get help. So that's if you can't do it the way I did it, don't worry about it. If you're in a place where you're like, Frank, I can't save, I just can't do this anymore. Get out. Like I'd rather
Yeah.
you do that than hurt yourself mentally or physically.
Yeah, you gotta take care of you and do what's best for you and your family,
Yeah.
100%.
Hmm.
Um, I respect you so much for that, Tech. Thank you
Yeah,
for
of course.
sharing all the good stuff about you. Like, it's just been really awesome seeing you just flourish and having fun and being happy because I
Thank
see a
you. Yeah.
whole different person right now. So,
Oh,
I love
thanks.
what I'm seeing and can't wait again for the rest of 2022.
Me too.
And let's talk about, some cool things you did last year, AKA fundraising.
Oh
You know,
goodness, yes. We did a lot of fundraising.
you
Yeah.
did. And I want you to talk about your experience just fundraising as a whole with Tiltify and how it's been with you and your community. And
Yeah. Well, I started out when I started out fundraising, I see I have to hold it down because there's certain words that I'm trying to cut out. Like I was a nobody. You should never say that. But anyway, I wasn't well known. I'll just put it that way. I wasn't well known when I started. And I had this ideal that raising, I don't know, $100 to $500 wasn't a lot. Like it wasn't good. It was embarrassing. That's the wrong attitude to go into any charity because a dollar is more than they had. Like, and if you break it down, I think St. Jude kind of opened my eyes the most because $1.35 gets them a toy. Like, that's a toy they didn't have. And so you start thinking about this stuff, and you're like, wow, I raised $500. That's possible around like 400 and some odd toys for kids, or if you broke it down, or $500 that went towards research that can save someone's life, which is priceless. So you start thinking like that. Then I started like getting into the groove of things. I stopped. Everybody goes into charity wrong in the beginning. I feel like everybody thinks it's a race because
yeah,
I blame certain things. I don't like leaderboards to be public because people feel like if they're not top 10, they're not worth it, you know? And I put myself there, not gonna lie, because I was like, guys, we got to get to this point, God, and people that give, they should be feeling the need to give, not feeling the need to please you to give. And when I started realizing that, I was like, okay, I got that side figured out, right? And then there was the other side of me not feeling like I failed. Once I put those two together, I started really getting into charity and loving it. So every year we do a charity event, whether it's one or five, just depends. I try not to do one every week because I don't want to burn out people because I know people got bills, it's COVID, a lot of stuff is happening, pandemic, whatever. So at
yeah,
the end of the day, St. Jude opened my eyes the most. That's my flagship one. We go through Tiltify because it's easy. Everything you just plug and play. You set up everything. Like literally everything is there. They embed your stream. You can put that anywhere. You can put that in bed anywhere, and it's got credibility. So everybody knows Tiltify. Everybody knows St. Jude, and they go from that. Another thing I do is Extra Life. All the big organizations. Typically, if you reach out to me to do a fundraising, I see it's legit and it's got credibility. I'll do it. I don't accept any money period, at all, point blank, none. So anybody come to me like, hey, we want to sponsor you to do it. No, no, no. Whatever money you're gonna give me, put that in the charity pool and let it go. So that's kind of what I get. And the good thing about it is the people that I mess with, they don't do that. They know it comes from the heart and stuff. So this year we raised a good bit of money, a lot of money actually. And I don't know the final number because it's not, what was that?
last year.
Last year. Not this year. Yeah, see, I'm still in 2021
I'm
apparently.
still doing it too.
I just can't believe it's 2-2. Um,
Oh,
Last year we raised a good bit of money. I don't know the number because it's not important to me. I stopped worrying about that. I was like, yo, seeing those kids smile is great. But getting into charity is easy. All you gotta do is set up a Tiltify account, really. And this is and like I said, they're the easiest one. There's other organizations out there, but Tiltify is the easiest one. Go ahead and set up an account, find the organization you want to do a charity for, and it's that easy. And if you don't find it, you can contact them. And they put it up like instantly. I mean, it was just ridiculous how fast they do it. So that's how I got into charity, and I love it. I absolutely love seeing the community come together. People, lurkers coming out that never talk in your chat, and they're just like $5,000. Like what? Like like I get very emotional about it. A lot of people think it may be for show, but no, it just boosts my all the built up tears I got in me just comes out because it's just amazing to see people that may not be a talker but be a doer. And the people that aren't doers are talkers, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, it's fun.
that's awesome. And you spoke about St. Jude. What other causes do you love to support with your fundraising?
Yeah, St. Jude was one because cancer is unfair. It's a flaw in our whole life stream. Um Kids get it. It sucks.
Yep.
They're innocent lives that just come into the world without a care in the world, and they get it. But
Yeah.
and there's other organizations too. But just to speak on that, the biggest touching thing that ever had happen to me is when I would visit at St. Jude, and I was serving food to the kids because we get to do that, and it's not like they make us. We I was like, I want to do this. I
Right.
tell you, when I see anywhere between the age of like 2 year olds all the way up to like 13, 14 year olds, these kids are not crying. They're not worried about what happens tomorrow. They're living the moment. They're laughing, they're playing, they're enjoying themselves. Their parents, you know who needs the help? It's the parents. Because the kids are just being kids and the parents are the warriors, right? And the kids are like, patting their parents on the back, and like the counters are super low for the kids to go up there and talk to
Yes.
people. When I
Mhm.
saw that, I was like, I gotta help this organization. Like, I gotta do it because that could be my kid. That could be anybody's kid. That could be anybody's brother or sister, whatever. Other organizations that I've done charity for, Black Lives Matter movements, organizations for that, people of color in general, Asian, to try to help with the harassment and stuff, like push that down and get it away. So I support pretty much any organization, LGBTQA communities, like anybody that needs help and stuff that I see has a good cause and has a charity event. I try to mix it up. I don't try to stick with one all the time. Granted, I do have a flagship charity that I'm known for, which is St. Jude, but I try to do children's hospitals. Kids are important to me. They're the future. They're the ones that keep going. Everyone has that expiration date, but these kids come up and is whatever I could do to help them to make their path easier. Yes. But I do worry about us in our current generation. And I tend to not just do for things that apply to me. I try to do for things that apply to other people because I'm not, what's that word, Ash, that people when something happens, they try to help on that situation. Ally. I'm not an ally type situation, like where if something arises, like I gotta do something. It's like I'm always thinking about what can I do? What can I do to make this better? If I can't give money to this charity, who can I reach out to help this charity? What names do I know that I can get involved, and stuff like that. So uh to that point, there's many ways to be able to help charities and organizations without giving money. Spreading the word, I know a couple of celebrities. I hit them up. I don't tell the people that they hit silently, anonymously on Twitch. Sometimes I hit them up, and sometimes they hit them hard on Twitch, anonymous. And I don't say, to this day, people don't know that I have provoked it because I was just like, if I can get them involved, then I've done more than just give money. I got an eye on them. So that's my end goal right there. Anyway.
It's amazing. Wow. And I love the flagship event every year. That's always so cool to watch.
Mm,
And just watching people come together for St. Jude Play Live is the most beautiful thing every year.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. My first campaign, fundraising campaign, actually was for St. Jude Play Live. So Yeah, I always think about my first experience. I'm like, wow,
Hmm.
see all these people come together for
Yep.
one mission, and it's just to help these kids and their families. It's so beautiful, and I will
It is.
never get over the love and energy that comes from that event every year. But I
Yep.
love that you also support different causes that are you feel passionate about, which is so important. And I think it's important to support causes that you are passionate about or care about because you get to share that with your communities and they feel
Yeah,
passion as well and they want to support it.
I
So
agree. You like
yeah.
puppies? Support puppies. Like honestly,
Or
it,
puppies, yes.
yeah, support puppies, support kittens. Like the veterinarians out there, or the the pet hospitals that don't have, they're suffering right now. Like this pandemic is impacting everybody and everything. It's not just
Mhm.
wearing your mask and going out and you're doing the right thing. It's like we can't get technology going because shipments can't get to us. I mean, I have a shipment right now that's delayed indefinitely because they don't have the workers to bring it here because everybody's getting sick. So it's just like, I don't know, but it's support anything and everything that you can, whatever you think, whatever's a good cause. Just make sure have your backup research. Make sure you're going to a right org. There are some wrong ways to do fundraising, and if somebody asks, try to be knowledgeable about what you're giving to, because that way people can see that you do care and not you're not just doing it just to do it.
That's really good advice. That kind of pivots to our next question about what advice you would give,
Mhm.
a streamer that wants to start their first charity stream. I agree. Make sure you're doing your research
Yeah,
because you don't want to be there on your stream. You're like, "Yep, we're supporting St. Jude," and then your community is like, "Okay, what's St. Jude?" You're like, "Well, I think it's for childhood cancer." You don't
yeah,
want to do. You don't want to be like, "I think it's no." You want to be knowledgeable so your community knows what they're supporting and where their dollars are going
yeah,
to, and make
absolutely.
sure you have that knowledge and you're bringing that awareness to your community. It's so important, okay?
It's very, very important. The biggest the biggest thing I say, yeah, is know what you're doing, like who you're doing it for and why you're doing it. But more importantly, know why you are doing it. Not,
Mhm.
don't just be like, because kids with, because cancer sucks, kid cancer in the butt. Yeah, that's great and all, but the one thing that really motivates people is a personal like reason, like a personal goal, because then it like uplifts they're like, I didn't think about that, because they can research things all day, but the fact that, for instance, you could be like, hey, cancer touches all of us in some way. There's people cancer cells in almost everyone, or I should say everyone. It's just some are dormant and some are not, right? Like, well, why haven't we not found a cure for cancer? Let's just say. And the fact that St. Jude, all the money that they get every year and all the research that they have, they don't hold that to themselves. They give that to everybody. Like all hospitals have access to that. And that's such an important message because a lot of people feel like they only have one hospital that they can go to and that's it. And sometimes some hospitals do bar information, but St. Jude doesn't do that. So it's just like, wow. When they told us that they have the world's most expensive, I can say it wrong. What was it? Technology to be able to pinpoint the smallest cell. We're like,
Yep,
"What?" And you're like, "You're standing on it." We're like, "What?" Like everybody's just like going hype about it because they were, and then I love how they ended it like, "You did that. You guys are the reason why we have this, and we're able to give it to the world." I'm like, you can't help but to be hyped for it. And the excitement. Number one, be excited about it. Number two, don't do it just for the prizes. That comes along. That's just a thank you from them, and you do what you want with that. But number three, if you don't hit your goal, don't feel like you failed. If you raised $1 or less, it's more than they had, and that's good. The fact that you tried is priceless. You can't put a price on that. And you'd be
exactly.
surprised, right? You'd be surprised how much people respect you for just trying. I don't care if we have 0 viewers. You never know who is watching. And I'm gonna tell you right now, people that don't create accounts on Twitch don't get counted as viewers. So it doesn't mean that you're not being watched by somebody. They just anonymous. They don't want to be known in your chat. So always keep that in mind. Um, you don't have to set milestones. You don't have to set goals. You don't have to set any of that. And the reason why I'm making that a thing is Tiltify does have that up there, but that's extra. That's bonus. That's icing on the cake. That if it's an option, it's not a requirement. You notice that requirements have red stars, right? You just
Yep.
need your name, your address for personal information because tax stuff, whatever you want to do with that. They need that stuff, that's important stuff. But the milestones, all that stuff, don't worry about that your first time around. You want to get into it, set a goal and say, it's okay if I don't reach this goal, but the fact that I tried is enough. Word of mouth is just as valuable as dollar bills. Remember that. Don't push your audience too hard because they will fight back. And, and believe me, and find friends that you can share the burden with. Because if you don't feel like you can reach a goal of 500 alone, have some friends come and help you, whether they're in person or they're across the internet. Share that goal, make a team, and get together and just do something fun. Maybe you guys can do a whole stream together, 24 hour. No, not 24 hour. Don't do those. Sorry. I was gonna say 24-hour fundraiser, but then people were like, stream for 24 hours. No, don't ever do that. You take shifts. You do 3 hours, somebody else take 3 hours, somebody else take 3 hours, and you can move it around. Um, but those are my biggest, I think those are my biggest advice because I don't want to give like 10 steps because people won't remember those. Have fun, be excited, understand what you're doing and like who you're doing it for, and don't feel like a failure because you're never a failure. The fact that you press that button to start campaign, like you're a superhero in my book.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
and so valuable, and you just bringing awareness with your community is perfect. That is so
Yes.
impactful. People don't understand, but it really is. And you try again next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Always push for more the next time and have fun and change things up. Bring
Hmm.
people in with you, like Tech
Hmm.
said. Bring people in with you so you make that experience more fun. You
Yep.
know, very important. So I really appreciate you, Technique. Thank you so much
Oh.
for that incredible advice, sharing your story.
No
And
problem.
if y'all don't know Technique, now you know him. So make sure you go follow him on socials.
Yeah.
But if you don't know where to follow him on socials, we kind of need to know where we can find you, Tech. So can you let people
Yeah.
know where we can find you?
Uh, let's see. Twitch.tv/technique. Don't you know E just the Q at the end. So you spell out technique like the word, but take the U and the E off, and that's me. On Twitter, unfortunately, somebody took that. So it's technique and put a T and a V at the end, Technique TV. I love being in front of the camera, so it's probably easy to find. I'm Technique TV on here, excuse me, on Twitter and YouTube. Instagram is just Frank Ellerby. My name is out there. I ain't afraid. That if you want more of a behind the scenes technique, go check me out on Instagram. I just have pictures of just life or selfies or like weird places I've been, and that's about it. Yeah. Or you can find me hosting a lot of things. Just follow my Twitter. All the information will be up there. It's probably the best place to follow me. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks for
Thank
having me.
you so much. Of course. Thank you for joining me. I'm so honored to chat with you today. And I know
Thank
you're a
you.
busy guy. So thank you for making time for me.
Always, always, always.
You. Everybody, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening at whatever time you're watching this video at. We have all of Technique's social links down below, so make sure you click them and keep up with him and his content because I'm sure 2022 is full of so much fun
Yeah.
goodness happening for him. So, thank you, everyone. We hope you have a good one and please stay safe out there, you and your families. Bye.
Bye.